Yeah, good day, everyone. My name is Toyosi Labeldo. I'm the principal EBO consultant of Trilling Email Services. So I'm here this morning to share. I'm here to share my experience with you. I just came back from the clinic, and I actually took my son there for his yearly checkup. The last time we had this checkup was September last year, and we were scheduled to bring him today, and I went to the clinic with him so he could see the doctor. Now, I want to share my experience with you so that you can actually compare the healthcare system here in Canada with what you have in your own country of origin and see if really it's worth it to come to Canada, or if you think it's not worth it. So before I go on, I want to encourage you to follow us on social media channels. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on Threads, we're on Twitter, which is now known as X, we're on LinkedIn, and we're also on YouTube. Our handle is @TrollingTravel. So we post so many videos, which I'm sure if you watch them, you will love them. And don't forget to share them with your friends and your family members. Also on YouTube, don't forget to click on that bell notification button so that when we post any video, you'll be the first to get to know about it. So I'm here to share my experience with you as regards healthcare in Canada. So my son had a regular appointment this morning, and I have to tell you that the appointments have been scheduled 3 months earlier, and they sent us a letter telling us that he has an appointment today. The letter came in our mailbox. That was like 3 months back. And when that letter came about 4 weeks ago, they called us to confirm whether we saw the letter, and they also called to confirm if we'll be able to make the appointment. Now, I've lived in another country in the past, and I don't really think I get calls from a doctor, any doctor from a public hospital, to confirm that I'll be coming for appointment or not. Mind you, the clinic that I went to today is a public hospital. It's not a private hospital. It's a public hospital. And I remember they called about 4 weeks ago to remind us that we have an appointment. Are we coming for it? Now, apart from calling us 4 weeks ago, a week before the appointment, they also called us and reminded us about the appointment. And we also confirmed that, yes, we'll be bringing him to the clinic for the checkup. So I left. The appointment today was supposed to be 10:30 a.m. in the morning. You know, my house to the hospital, it's about 28 minutes drive. So I left my house on the dot of 10 a.m. I left 10 a.m. this morning, and I got to the clinic around 10:33 a.m. That's when I parked. I was so lucky. As I was driving into the hospital is in downtown Edmonton. As I was driving into the hospital, there was a car that was leaving one of the car parks, and I just parked. I think it was God sent, because it's a busy morning. It's always very difficult to get a place to park, even though you're going to pay for it. I remember last time I parked, I went to the hospital. That was last year. I had to wait in the car park for like 30 minutes before I finally got a place to park. But as soon as I was getting to the car park, a car was moving out, and I was able to park my car right where it moved out from. So after parking my car, I went inside. There was a paid park machine right inside the hospital. You know, I paid for 2 hours. 2 hours parking, I mean, because I felt, okay, well, I assumed that I will be there for like 2 hours, and I paid for that. Now, let me clarify something. The appointment was for 10:30. I got to the hospital at 10:33. Yeah, I was behind schedule. But remember what I said? I left my house around 10 a.m. Okay, so I want to tell you that I worked in an hospital in the past, and I can remember very well that if you have an appointment in the past in another country, not in Canada, in another country, I can tell you that my experience then, I don't know if things have changed now. If you have a 10:30 appointment in the hospital where I worked, most times the doctors will tell you you must be there before 8 o'clock, and you would have to wait at 8 o'clock, even though your appointment might be 10:30. In fact, they may not even give you an appointment. They just tell you come at 8 o'clock. Everybody comes at 8 o'clock, and you have to wait there till when the doctor comes to see you. That's my own experience. So even, in fact, as at that time, I don't know, that's why I said I don't know if things has changed now, but I tell you that the country I'm talking about, if you have an appointment on Tuesday, they will tell you, come to the hospital by 8 o'clock. If you come after 8 o'clock, you would not see any doctor. They won't allow you to see your doctor. In fact, many patients would come at 5 o'clock and come to drop their card by 5 o'clock. Early, because they feel if they don't come on time, they won't attend to them. In fact, I remember that time some patients who are maybe staffs or who have patients who they want doctor to see, would have given possibly one porter to help them drop their card early morning, because if you don't drop your card after a period of time, they tell you they won't see you. I never had that experience here. The appointment was 10:30. I got there at 10:33, and they were expecting us. That's why I was 3 minutes late. They did not tell me that, oh, you are late, go back. They still attended to us. They were waiting for us, and they saw us. Now, one other thing I saw, we actually had 3 people coming to see my son. The first person that came in was a medical student. One, not a multitude of medical students, because the hospital too is a teaching hospital, you know. And when she came in, before she came in, she knocked on the door. Okay, sorry, before we even got here, the receptionists, they greeted us. They led us into a private room where we sat down. Private room, you know, quiet place, lovely place. The hospital environment was very lovely. You know, it was a children's hospital. They made it colorful for kids and all that. And when we got there, they ushered us into a room where we sat down. Within 5 minutes, someone came. Before she came in, she knocked. We had to tell her, come in. I was like, this is the hospital now. You know, we told her to come in. She came in. After coming in, she introduced herself to us. She even introduced herself to my son. This is me. This is my, you know, she also told us what she is. She said she's a medical student working with the doctor that is supposed to see my son. Now, she didn't just come in and start checking on him or come in, ignore us. She requested for consent from us if we are willing that she starts the process before the doctor comes, that she wants to ask one or two few questions, make some observations. You know, she requested for consent from us, and we said, why not? Why, you can go on. She told us designation that she's a student. Kindly note, we did not have 20, 30 of them coming in surrounding us. It was just one of them, just one. And we said, okay, go on. And she asked questions. She played with my kid. You know, she did all that, and it was fine. You know, and she did what she wanted to do. And it took us like 5-10 minutes, and she was done, you know. After a short while, another lady came in, and she introduced herself. Before she came in also, she knocked on the door. I said, come in. I was like, well, this is not my house. This is the hospital. This is your hospital, actually. You are the guys here. You know, I was shocked that they were actually knocking the door to come in. So after coming in, she introduced herself as a nurse and also requested for consent to ask him some questions and all that. And we said, why not? Go on. She did all that, talked to him, played with him, asked him if he wanted to take her. I said yes. You know, and she made some records and also left. Now, the point I'm trying to make here is they did not just say because you are in the hospital, they are the king, they are the queens, or they are the ones that determine everything. They were still very cautious. They knocked on the door before coming in, and they asked for consent to attend to my son, who was just coming for general checkup. Nothing, there was nothing wrong with him, general checkup and all that. So finally, after like 10 minutes, the consultant came in with the student doctor that has come to check him earlier on. She played with him. She's been his consultant for 5 years or there, so she knows him very well. And you know, said, "Oh, you've grown so tall now." You know, spoke to him, played with him, examined him. She also asked for consent. You know, it's so funny that when she was coming to, she knocked. Consultant. She's a consultant. Consultant, yeah. She's not just an ordinary doctor or a junior doctor. She's a consultant, and she's been a consultant for many years. You know, she knocked on the door when she was coming in. We said, "Come in." She greeted us, and she attended to my son. Now, there was no concern. There was nothing wrong with him. Everything was fine. And I can tell you that I told you I got to the clinic by 10:33. By 11:15, we were done in the clinic. 11:15 a.m. we were done with everybody that wanted to see us in our clinic. Now, one other thing that's I want to talk about here is we requested from the consultant, we needed a letter for insurance for him and some other things, and we told her, "Oh, we need a letter for this, blah blah blah, just can you help us with it?" She said, "Yes, I'll do it right away." And instantly she just got on the computer in the same examination room that we were, typed letter, and in 3 minutes she had given it to us. What we just made the requests while we were there. It's not like we had told her before, or or she knew her head that we needed that and all that. In 5 minutes, she had gotten us a letter. We didn't have to go and pay for it. We did not have to go and line up somewhere or come back tomorrow, see my secretary, go to the general admin. She's a consultant. She's the one seeing my son. She knows everything about him. She has his records. And instantly, she gave us what we wanted, and we got it from her. So, by 11:15, we were done. And by 11:30 or thereabouts, we were out of the hospital. So, meaning that I left my house by 10 a.m. in the morning for the hospital. And by 11:30, I was already out of the hospital. By 12 o'clock, before 12, I was able to drop my son back at school. And I was now able to go back to my office. And I'm now doing this video as soon as I got to the office. Now, what's the point I'm making? Compare with where you live, going to a public hospital. Can you... In all, I spent, I only spent less than 2 hours of my time leaving my house, going to see the doctor, and also dropping off my son back in school, and also going back to my office. So in all, I spent like 2 hours. I was able to return back to my work. My wife was also able to return back to her work, and all the whole period we spent was 2 hours. Now, let me recall and compare with another country that I've lived in the past, and compare what experience parents have. When parents have to see doctors in public hospitals in that country I'm talking about, most times you'll be told to come early morning. You leave your house by 5 a.m. And I can tell you that if you are not careful, you might be in the hospital till 4 or 5 p.m. in the evening. And you may even end up not getting to see the consultant that is assigned to you. You may end up being treated by a senior reg, or maybe a junior reg, or even an house officer. I can tell you that is the experience of many people. You know, I'm sure many people are relating what I'm saying because you've had the experience. You don't even know who is coming to see you. You don't know if the person seeing you is a junior office, junior reg, or a student, or is not even qualified to see you. You don't know because nobody will introduce themselves to you as this. I'm sure of that. Most times they just come there, touch you, see you, examine you, and they're off again. And many times, a teaching hospital, you see multitude of people coming around, overcrowded. Over the room you are in, they overcrowd the room, and the little boys will be scared that, what are all these people doing around me and all that, you know. Then ask yourself, are you able to spend 2 hours alone in the hospital, in a public hospital where you are, and you are still able to return back to your work on the day you brought your son to an hospital? I don't think so. I don't know, maybe things have changed now, but that time when I was back there, I can tell you this is the experience I had. If you whatever day you are taking your child to the hospital, you are not likely going to be able to go back to work. I'm back at work now, and I only lost like 2 hours of my hours for today, and I'm back at work. I'm able to still achieve a lot of things. Are you also able to achieve that if you attend a public hospital where you are? You're able to go back to your work, and within 2 hours you are done, to and fro. You've gone to the hospital, you are back within 2 hours, and you are back at work. So for those, I'm saying all this because everybody knows their why. One of the reasons why I decided to migrate to Canada is because of their healthcare system, and this is what I experienced today. Yeah, it's lovely for me. It's lovely. It's something you want to experience, because if looking at where the country I had used their healthcare services before, you can't be back at work in 2 hours. It's not possible. It is impossible, because you will spend the whole day. In fact, by the time you walk from one upstairs to the lower floor to go and get this, in fact, let me recall some of the things I experienced back then. When you first get to the hospital, you will first drop your card. Maybe we get there at 5:30 in the morning. You drop your card. You will sit down, and wait for the record officers to come. When they now come, they will now call you. They'll go and check your file. They may not even see your file. They may not see your file. They will tell you they are looking for your file. You might be there sitting down for 3-4 hours. They're still looking for your file. Finally, when they see your file, they will call you. They call you one by one and tell you, yeah, come and stay here. Go to this room. You go to here. Go and stay here. They will sit like 10-20 of you in front of the doctor's room. The doctor is not yet there. The doctor has not come. The doctor is not yet there. You will stay there for now 2-3 hours waiting for the doctor. When the doctor comes, he comes in with multitude of students or his entourage, and they start calling you one by one. The place is not air conditioned, or even if there's air conditioned there, the whole place is smelling. The whole place is overcrowded with patients, seeing different doctors and all that. They don't give you appointments hour by hour. No, they give everybody the same time. You are coming today to the clinic, come in the morning. You come before 8 o'clock. If you don't come by 8 o'clock, you will not be attended to. They'll ask you to go. That's the experience. That's how it looks like. But look at what I experienced there. Everything was completed. In 2 hours, I was done. So for those that are complaining, or for those that keep saying it's not what it is, not what they are complaining, Canada is cold, Canada is not worth it, I'm going back to my country of origin. Nobody's saying you should not go back. But this is one of the benefits you get, that you have access to free healthcare services, and you don't have to stress yourself. You don't have to stress yourself. You know, recently I had a friend of mine who called me and said, someone very close to me called me and said his father-in-law was admitted in one of the hospitals in Nigeria, and he was just complaining. He said they had to travel to go and do the tests elsewhere. They did not even attend to him. They brought in him and he was unconscious. They did not run any tests. When they finally ran a test, it took them 4 days. The result was not out. Someone that was unconscious. 4 days. This is a recent happening. This thing I'm saying happened some days back. In fact, he called me to ask if I still have anybody or know anybody in the hospital. I had to start making calls. I called some of my old friends who I knew. Please, are you still here? Please, can you help me? You know, that's the experience that many of us get in the healthcare services there. But here, I did not have to call anybody. I did not have to call anybody. I did not have to say, oh, I know somebody, please help me. Let me talk to the doctor. Let me check whether the consultant will come. Let me check whether they are doing the right thing. No. Everything was done right. Everything was perfectly done. It's so interesting. You know, so I'm not trying to say that Canada does not have its own issues. But when you talk about the healthcare, it is one major reason why people want to come to Canada. And that's one of the reasons why I came here. And I'm enjoying it. I'm making use of it. And it's so interesting. It's enjoyable. It's something you want to experience, especially when you have experienced the other side of it elsewhere. Wow, you would want to experience this here. So for those that still have plans to come, this is one major reason why you should consider migrating to Canada. Healthcare system is free here. You get to see your GP, you get to see your doctors without having to pay, and you get quality service. They treat you like humans. You are treated well. People, they don't look down on you or see you as someone that they are the ones that decide your fate. They treat you like humans, you know. And you know, that is one of the things that's an experience that I'm sure many people want to experience. It's not because you are a big person. No. This is a public hospital, not a private hospital. It's a public hospital. So you know, so this is one of the things that people look up to. And we are believing that, well, those other countries too, maybe one day their health services too will improve and get better and be like this. So healthcare services is one of the major reasons why many people want to come to Canada. It's free and you will get quality treatment without having to pay a dime for it. Don't forget to follow us on our social media channels. And don't also forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. On our YouTube channel, don't forget to click on that bell notification button so that when we post any new video, you'll be the first to know about it. Our handle for all these social media channels is @TrueLink Travel. If you love this video, don't forget to like the video and share. On our social media channels, follow us. See you guys.